What's going on, guys? My name is Voss, and today we get to drive a 2012 Infinti G37X Sport Appearance Edition. If you're new to the channel, thanks for watching. Check out some of my other contents. I got a Lamborghini review that I did. It's pretty cool. And I'm hoping to bring more content like that one as well as this one. My goal is to not only review real high, performance exotic cars, but also cars you can drive every day at different price points. So I just want to get a couple numbers out of the way. I don't want to bore you with just a bunch of specs on a car, but this car is a G37X Sport Appearance. So what does that exactly mean? The 37 refers to the 3.7 liter six-cylinder motor that Nissan has fitted in this car. The X stands for all-wheel drive, and the S stands for the Sport Appearance. Now, what do you get with that? I want to say you get paddle shifters on your steering wheels, a little stiffer suspension system, and overall this car puts out 328 horsepower at 7,000 RPMs and 268 foot-pounds of torque at 5,200 RPMs. In 2012, this car was MSRP'd for $42,000 plus taxes and whatever. But at that price point, it put itself in the same category as an entry-level 3 Series, an Audi A4, the Lexus ES, GS model cars. Infinti really, more specifically Nissan, they had the Altima Maxima, and this is kind of their luxury attempt at competing with the car manufacturers like BMW and Mercedes and Audi. So for $42,000, you do get quite a bit of car here. In that price range, and for the size of car you get, the 3.7 liter six-cylinder that's in here is superior to the rest of the competition. At the time, BMW's 335i's, they were fitted with 3-liter twin-turbo inline sixes. Audi had a 3.2 V6 as well as a 2.0 turbo. So you got a pretty big motor in this car. This car is naturally aspirated, so there's no turbos. But that being said, there's no turbo lag. All the power's there when you want it. It's got a lot of pickup. It's just subtly stands out. It doesn't attack you in the face, and it's not slow at all. As soon as you step on the gas, it kind of just gives you the power you need. Now that I've covered most of the quick numbers for this car, I'm going to jump into some of the things I like, some of the things I don't like in this car. So starting with my all-time favorite feature in this car is the steering and seat column system. When you sit in the car and you turn it on, before you turn it on, if you just open the door and sit in it, the entire seat moves back and the steering column moves up, giving you ample room to sit. So I'm 5'7" and 155 pounds. So for me, it's not really a problem, but for someone that's a little bigger, like 6 foot, and a little more weight than I am, it's a really nice feature to have because you don't have to worry about hitting your legs, you don't have to worry about squeezing in real tight. It's really easy to get in and out of the car. And the nice thing is, as soon as you start the car up, it automatically goes back to the position that you had set for your driving modes. So, and then along with that, you can set 2 different positions for seat and steering, so you can have multiple drivers. Another thing that I really like in this car is how comfortable it is. When you're driving long, when you are cruising, or you're going fast, it's got really nice seats. And I used to own a 335i, a 2010 model, and that had pretty good seats, but the seats in here are way more supportive. There's a lot of lumbar adjustments and height adjustments you can do, so you don't really ever feel like you're dragging on in here. It's really comfortable. I've driven this car 4 or 5 hours at a time for road trips, and I've never had an issue with my back hurting. Another thing that this car is really good for is its reliability. This, in that $40,000 price range, when it's competing with cars like the BMW and the Audi, it's a lot more reliable than both of those. Having personally owned an A4 and a 335i, they break down a lot. They're fun to drive, but they break down a lot. The owner of this car said that other than oil changes, nothing has ever really been done to this car. So for a 2-year ownership and about 30,000 miles of driving, it's been extremely reliable. Something else that this car is really good for is its power. In that class, that 3.7 liter that this car is fitted with is honestly as good as it's going to get. It's a very small core, so you're getting a lot of power for the price. It's not too loud, but when you step on it, you really can hear it. Some things I hate about this car is how many buttons there are. The instrument cluster and then both the navigation and infotainment system, I can't even count them, but there's like 20 something buttons, and then each button has a sub button that takes you to another layout in the menu, and it just, while you're driving, it's very hard to try and use the stuff. So other than the air conditioning, the heat, and then a couple quick buttons for the radio, it's a pain to get to move in and out of the infotainment system. Something else that really hurts this car, which this is my opinion, some people could think otherwise, but it's not really the best looking vehicle. You're trying to trying to drive a sports sedan as an everyday driver, and you're competing with the German and then the Lexus competitors. And this car is honestly a lot uglier than both of those cars. It's not a bad looking car, it's just bubblier. It doesn't have the road presence that you get in a 3 Series or an A4 or a C-Class. This car is fitted with a 7-speed automatic transmission. It's got paddle shifters. And it's a nice thing that they put these paddle shifters in here, but it shifts so slow. It honestly almost shifts faster if you just let the computer system do it. It's not an enjoyable shift. It's not quick. It doesn't hold tight. It's not a DCT, so it has a lot of issues shifting, and it just feels real slow, clunky, and outdated. Now that I've given you some of the things I like and don't like with this car, it's time to kind of give it a score. And we're going to start this little VOS score for each review that I do. I didn't give one for the Lambo, but I'm going to throw one up somewhere. But essentially, we're going to have 3 categories: performance, aesthetics, and reliability. Let's go ahead and start with performance. For performance, for this car, given the price point, which these cars, the MSRP was over $40,000, but today, because of depreciation, you can get the sport model for between $10,000 and $15,000 with relatively low miles, and you get a lot of performance for a fun everyday driver, daily driver. This is a fantastic car, and this car gets a 6. The next category is going to be aesthetics. And something I really like to compare is road presence. Now, you're comparing to your German rivals and then your Lexus models as well. This car probably has the worst road presence of all of those cars. Maybe not the ES of that year. It kind of looks like an old man's car. But compared to an Audi, a BMW, and a Mercedes, the 3 Series, A4, and C-Class, you're going to have... those cars look way better than this one. So overall, for aesthetics and, this car is going to get a 4. Final category is going to be reliability. And as mentioned before, this car is amazingly reliable. The only thing that's ever been done with this is oil changes. It's had 30,000 miles put on it, and it's had virtually no maintenance. So for reliability, this car gets a 9, bringing the total score to a 19 out of 30. If you guys like this review, like and subscribe, turn that notification bell on, share these reviews. That's a big way to help me out. And check out my Instagram. I'm going to link that down below somewhere. You can get first access to upcoming reviews and car stuff that I'm going to be doing. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next video.